Purpose. I tell people all the time that you were created on purpose for a purpose. You know, it might have surprised your parents that you showed up here, but you were no surprise to God. He already had your life in his heart. So take some time today, spend some time with your Father. Make sure you seek him for what your purpose is. And I promise you that the thing you're looking for in the universe is already inside of you. The gift of life and purpose, God has already put inside of you. And let me tell you, the best days that you live in your life will be those days where, number one, you're in God's will. Number two, living your purpose that he put you here for. Hello everyone, it is Regina Sunshine with the Regina Sunshine Show, our first ever broadcast from Regina Sunshine Global Network here in Douglasville, Georgia. I won't cry right now, I'm sure I will cry at some point later. It has been an amazing journey getting to this point, and I'm so thankful and blessed to be here with you guys today. Today's show is a blockbuster show. I could not have picked a better set of guests for you guys to meet on my very first live show. And some of these guests drove in from quite a way, right, Sherry? Yes. So we have Sherry Kane that drove in from where, Sherry? Charlotte, North Carolina. We have Stacy Thompson in the building that drove in from Greenville, South Carolina. Anderson, South Carolina. Jackie Madison. I think that's an ATLian, if that's what you said. Clintoria Sessions from Anderson, South Carolina. And Miss Ebony Ormonham is with us as well. And I am so excited. We are a few minutes late. If you guys knew the battle I had to fight to get to this space today, but praise the Lord, we are here and we are moving forward. Before we even get started with the show, I do want to give a shout out to my two sponsors for today's show. A big shout out to Terry Searcy, the owner of Studio T, for allowing me to rent this space and to have my office here and to partner with me to do some amazing things, because for us, Regina Sunshine Global Network is not just about a network in terms of media. It is about a space that we can bring the community in, where we can have town hall meetings here, where I'm actually planning after school tutoring for the next school year here, ELA, math, social studies, science in this building. This is going to be a space where we can truly come together and not just network, but partner together and then take this vision, this message out to the community and do great work. So that's my vision for this space. God continues to unfold it to me in pieces, because you know sometimes if he shows you the whole thing, you get scared, right? So he has given me just enough to hold on to, and again reminded me to hold on to him, and he will handle the rest. So today's show again is sponsored by Terry Searcy and Studio T. And number two, my ride or die for real, Anita Mitchell Blackwell, Leading Through Living Community, Bold Favorite Magazine. Thank you for all you have done. Thank you for supporting me and my efforts. We are definitely going to make you proud. So that's all I got to start the show. Now, those of you who've been watching my show for a couple years know, normally I start the show by myself, but look, I got this beautiful woman here on set with me. So we're going to roll right into our very first interview. You ready?
Thank you. I am ready.
You ready?
Yes.
I'm going to save my announcements to the end, because we got some big announcements at the end. So I'm going to save those until the end. So welcome to the show, Miss Sherry Kane.
Thank you, Regina, and congratulations.
Like I said, I'm not going to cry right now, because this last year already came off today.
Aww.
So we're going to try and keep it on for the rest of the show. But I do want to read a little bit about who you are,
Okay.
Sherry.
Okay.
Sherry Kane is an Amazon best-selling author, empowerment speaker, purpose coach, and the owner of a healthcare solutions business.
Yes.
Sherry has a heart for people and believes wholeheartedly that we were all created with purpose and the power to operate in that purpose.
Yes.
She is known for believing in the dreams of others. I love that.
Yes.
For believing in the dreams of others and being the push individuals need to start their business that lies on the inside of them.
Amen.
Terry does a daily Purpose Minute video on Instagram to empower and equip entrepreneurs and entrepreneur hopefuls. She believes no matter life circumstances, you can win. I love that. Well, you know my personal motto, so it's kind of like
we
falls.
kind of coincide.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Tell me how you became a purpose coach, because that's a new one. You know, you hear empowerment coach, you hear life coach,
Yes.
purpose coach.
Purpose coach is developed from just people seeing what I was doing and watching me, and of course when people watch you and they see what you're doing, they always have questions about, well, how did you get started?
Yes.
How do I get started? And so one of the gifts I believe that God has given me is to see the light in other people. And because I see the light in other people, because I see other people's spirit, it almost helps me pull their purpose out of them. And I'm always telling someone, I can see you doing this. Or I really think you're made to do this. And so it generated the word purpose coach, because I'm always pushing or pulling people or trying to get them to move into their purpose to become who they're truly meant to be.
I can truly identify with that. I've told people before, I can walk into a room and it's like a spotlight over people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
She needs a hug. Go and help her. She's going to do this or that.
Right.
And that is truly a gift. That's a divine calling.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So as you begin to operate in this gift, what has it felt like for you to be that person that's helped other people to draw the purpose out of them?
You know what? It's actually really humbling. Because, a lot of times we don't realize our own gifts. And because we don't realize our own gifts, we don't know what lies inside of us. So when I initially began helping people, you know how God is. He'll keep sending more people to show you who you are. And you're like, okay, God, I see where you're going, but are you sure that you want me to do this? And so he just kept sending the people. And so I kept helping people. And so I was like, okay, this is evidently what I'm called to do. So I'm going to stop running from it and, the fear, and stop sitting in fear. And I just took off. And he's been sending the people and been sending me places like this and to speak and to develop people. And people just come out of nowhere searching for a coach to help them with their business. So once you begin to move in the path that God has for you, he begins to open the doors. So I'm just excited, and it's truly humbling because I know it's not me.
Well, yeah, that's beautiful. For you to be a purpose coach, that while listening to you, it's obvious you're walking in your purpose.
Yes.
Now, what does that feel? Not just helping other people to find theirs, but to be in a space where this is what I was created to do.
Right. Being inside of this space is definitely empowering. Like I said, once you get over the fear, you get over this is truly what I'm meant to do. You're not worrying about what people say, because there's levels to it. I mean, I remember at one point I was like, oh my God, what is everybody who knew me back when gonna say?
Yes.
And and God takes us through those levels, and I think that while he's taking us through the different levels, he's pulling stuff out of us that used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's doing this pulling and this shedding and creating a new man, like the Bible says, we're becoming this new beautiful being.
Yes.
And walking in purpose is beautiful. Being a person of purpose is what we're all called to do. I believe that every single one of us has a calling. And it's up to us to look for that calling. It's up to us to develop that calling. And it's up for us to move in it, because there's people waiting for us to be who we're called to be.
I say that all the time.
Yes.
I'm inspired. I got chills when you said that.
Yes.
It is so true, because we have to recognize that the gift we have in our lives, the talents and abilities, everything God has put in us is not just for us. There are people in this world who need us to be who he has called us to be.
Amen.
So they know they have permission to be who he has called them to be. So I thank you for being one of those lights in the world, because it's so needed.
Yes.
Now, it mentions as well that you're an Amazon best-selling author.
Oh my
Tell us about it.
When God gave me this book, and I will tell you, all of this is God, none of this is Sherry. When he gave me this book, I was really in a bad place. I remember I was just stuck. I was like, God, I don't know what you want me to do with my life. I was sitting in my room. It was completely silent. And I sat there for maybe an hour and a half. I was like, I'm not moving. I need you to tell me what I need to be doing. And he said, the name of your book is The Will to Move. Go write it down. Go write down the title. And I was like, okay. Go get the laptop. Start writing. And that's what I did. I pulled out my laptop and I started writing, and I wrote the first 2 chapters right then. Now, with it being a bestseller, even with that, I felt like God was putting that impression on me the week before. He was like, when your book comes out next week, it's going to be a bestseller. And I was like, okay. I don't know that many people, but okay. So, of course, I advertised it on Facebook, Instagram, every place, sent a text message to all my friends. And I told them, it really counts if you buy this book in the first week. And so they bought it. And the first day, within 12 hours, the book was #1 on the Amazon bestseller list.
Girl, that's all God. That's all God.
You said this like, oh, I could not believe it. And it's still humbling. All of this is just a huge humbling experience for me.
Well, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Because, a lot of people have dreams and visions and ideas for things, but that moving is where most people get stuck. They know, God told me to do this, but then they're sitting at home trying to figure out how and why.
Yeah. That's what the book is about. Move. Get out of that place of fear, because fear will keep us stagnant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, one of the mantras I go by is, if I'm afraid, I have to do it. If I recognize that fear is the reason I'm not doing something, then I have to do it at this point. Just like this situation. When I sat down with Terry and talked about being in this space, I called my coach Lanita, and she was excited, but I was immediately tensed up. Mm-hmm. And I paused. I was walking through Family Dollar, y'all. I paused, and I saw this picture behind me. It's global, right? And I knew it was God. And I said, all right, I'm afraid, but I'm going to trust God. And that's why we're here today, because I trust Him.
Amen.
How can our audience get your book?
The book is available on Amazon.com as well as BarnesandNoble.com. And again, the name of it is The Will to Move, From Fear to Faith to Purpose. And it's by Sherry Kane, of course. If you're stuck or you're wondering why you can't move, you know that God has a call on your life, that is the book that belongs to you.
Awesome. We're going to take a quick break, and then at the end of the show, you're going to come back and help me close out the show. Sounds good? All right, you guys are live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network.
Amen.
We are back with the Regina Sunshine Show here at Regina Sunshine Global Network, and we welcome our next guest all the way from Anderson, South Carolina, Miss Stacey Thompson. Y'all give her a hand. Stacey.
Regina.
It's so good to have you here.
Yes.
Well, since we didn't mention this at the beginning of Sherry's interview, how did we meet?
Actually, I met you probably about 5 years ago. I don't know if you remember
the
first time we met, but we were
actually
actually at an event. It was a vendor event, and I bought your T-shirt. Get your sassy back.
Get your sassy back.
And I wore that until I couldn't wear it anymore. But and then this year we reconnected in January when I wanted to start working on some things, and I followed you and looked up to you and watched all the great things that you've been doing. So, and my pastor's always said, and I've always heard that if you want to do something, find somebody that's great at it and get them to teach you. So that's how we connected.
Well, it's interesting. Before I say what I want to say, tell our audience who you are and what you do.
My name is Stacey Thompson. I am an empowerment speaker. I'm a life coach, and I'm the author of The Words That Heal, Encouragement for the Soul.
Now, when I met Stacey's one of those, like she said, she was looking for someone to assist her in doing some of the things she wanted to do. This is someone, when you meet her, she has everything. She's an amazing speaker. She has a phenomenal book, has a beautiful spirit, but just needed someone to kind of what?
Push and guide, yes.
Since you have stepped into this space, where now you're what? You're out?
Yes.
You're out speaking?
Yes.
You're sharing your book?
Yes, relaunched.
Your book? You living your dream?
Yes.
Tell me about living your dream.
Actually, my tagline is turning dreams into reality. So that's what I've done. My dreams have turned into reality. So I'm living out what I'm pushing and helping others to do.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Because as you bring people on, it's not just about lip service.
No.
You are living out the things that you are instructing other people on how to do.
Yes.
So tell us about your book, because I think for you, everything started with the book.
It did. My book was released in 2015, The Words That Heal, Encouragement for the Soul. And my book is everything that's published in my book. They're all life experiences, things that I've been through in my life. Situations, issues, things that I've dealt with. I've actually just shared my journal with everyone, put myself out there. Everything that I've been through, I wrote about that. I wrote about what God spoke to me, how I healed, the prayers that I prayed, and then I also have what I call Stacy quotes sprinkled throughout my book to encourage and motivate you along the way.
Yes. One of the things I think that sticks out to me about you is the power of the spoken word. And that's something that you emphasize, how powerful it is, the things that you say, you know, that we have to be careful that we don't say what we don't want.
Yes.
And we speak those things that we do want.
Yes.
Talk to us about how your book helps someone in that area.
My book helps someone because, you know, as you said before, it's not just lip service, but it shows people, okay, when I was vulnerable, what I went through, you know, the struggles that I had, but then it also shows how I healed and how I spoke myself out of those things, and how I talked and how I said, okay, you know, this is what I'm going through, but this is not who I am. Yes. So it just shows people that, yes, we do struggle, we do go through life situations, but we can heal. And I have healed through those situations. And the reason for publishing my book is a lot of women that I've come in contact with and mentored along the way we would have conversations, and a lot of things that they talked about, I would think, oh my God, I've been through that. Yes. I went through that exact same thing. And, you know, so it was, God, you know, kept prompting and pushing me. You've got to share. You've got something to say. You've got to share. You've got to get out there so others can heal from what you've been through.
Well, you know, you mentioned that the book is like your journal. So you were really intentional in being transparent for other people. Now, was that a tough thing to do, to take your personal journals and expose them to the world?
Was it a tough thing? I struggled with releasing the book. I struggled so many times, and, you know, sent the information to the publisher, reneged on it. It's like, no, maybe I shouldn't do this. I don't know. People are going to know what I've been through. People are going to look at me funny. But, you know, I had to, once I did that, that's when true healing came. Because once I released the book, once the book was published, I had already healed and come through, but I truly healed and came through. I truly healed. A lot of, and in my book, I talk about some of the times where I would wake up at 4:44 to write. I would wake up at 4:44, and God would constantly wake me up. Once my book was released, it stopped. It stopped. The waking up and the being troubled at night, it stopped.
Wow. Yeah. Now, did you have any idea when you were journaling that there would be a day that you would have to tell everybody what you journaled?
No. And the way that I share, God said, you publish it the way you wrote it. So everything that I said and what I spoke from my heart is in my book. So no, I had no idea that the things that I wrote, how I said that, and when I talked to God and saying, you know, God, I know you see me struggling here, and that's in the book. You know, it's written exactly how I spoke to him, but I had no idea that it would be a book. I did not.
Wow. Now you have an interesting name for yourself in terms of coaching. What do we call you?
Empowerment coach.
Yes,
and empowerment coach.
There's something else we talk about. You're what kind of coach?
Parent coach.
You're a parent coach.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't always hear that, but you are a parent coach.
Yes.
Talk to us about what it means to be a parent coach.
What it means to be a parent coach is me helping push those parents to parent on purpose, to know that, you know, what you bring to the table, to know your role as a parent. I do focus a lot with single parents because I myself was a single parent, raised a son that is a successful 26-year-old right now, you know, serving in ministry, and I could not be more prouder of the son, the man that he, you know, has grown to be. But, you know, just to push those parents to know, okay, this is my role in the household as a single parent, and I'm gonna walk in that role and serve that role and be that person that I'm supposed to be, no matter what comes, no matter what happens with my child, no matter how their attitude changes, no matter what shifts, I'm gonna keep that role and maintain that role, because the finished product is what I'm working toward.
So what's next for Stacy?
What's next for Stacy? You know, I've been doing my weekly Wednesdays words of encouragement, so I'm pushing forward with that. But I've, you know, stepped out there as that empowerment speaker, so I've had some speaking gigs. Thanks to you pushing me.
I know. I remember you called the day you got your first paid gig. You were so excited. How'd that feel to go from, you know, because we all talk about it. We talk about, you know, because I'm an empowerment speaker as well. Going from that space where people just invite you in because they know you and they like you, to somebody wrote you a check.
Yes.
And a nice check.
Yes.
How'd that feel the day you got that call?
Oh my God, I called you in tears. I texted you and I was like, can you talk? Can you talk? And I was actually on the road traveling for work, and I'm, you know, in tears because I was, putting myself out there and saying, hey, can I just come talk to you for free? I don't want to charge you for anything, but to know that someone sees value in what I have to say and they want to hear what I have to say. Oh my God, it just pushes me to want to do more and to speak more and to share my passion to help build others and help them turn their dreams into reality.
Oh, yes. And a big part of that is you begin to see value.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Talk to our audience real quick before we end this interview about the difference between others seeing value and you finally seeing value, because until you saw value, you to continue to go speak for free,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And until you see your worth and know who you are and what you're called to do, you will allow others to put you in a space and put you in a box and put you to the side and say, this is all you deserve to be. This is all you deserve to have. But until you see that worth in yourself and know, I deserve that paid speaking engagement. I deserve to be on this panel. I deserve to be speaking in front of audiences, 300, 400 people. I deserve this. Until you recognize that, you won't have more. So you've got to recognize who you are and what you were put here to do, that purpose that you have, and understand that dreams can come true. And I'm sitting here today because my dreams have come true.
I love it. I'm so inspired today. Tell our audience where they can get your book, how they can follow you on social media.
I'm Stacey Thompson on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, Stacey Thompson 71. My book is available at Amazon.com. The Words That Heal, Encouragement for the Soul. I have a website coming, so I won't announce the name of it yet because it's still being built right now. But please follow me on social media. I look forward to connecting with you, and reach out to me and let's connect and let me help you turn your dreams into reality.
Awesome. You gonna hang around too?
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break. You guys are live on the Regina Sunshine Show here at the Regina Sunshine Global Network. And we are ready for our next guest. Welcome to the show, Miss Jackie Madison. Wearing your sash and everything. I didn't see that before. Well, where's the crown? Where's the crown?
We're working on it.
Okay. Well, for those who are longtime watchers of the Regina Sunshine Show, Jackie is, I won't say a repeat offender, but she is a returning guest. You and your family have been such a blessing to me, so it's good to have you back.
Thank you, Regina. I am excited to be here. Like I said before, honored to be one of the guests on your first episode of the Regina Sunshine Global Network. So thank you so much for having me back.
Thank you.
Yes,
Well,
thank
remind our audience of what you do. We're going to talk about that sash in a minute, but tell them what you do on a regular basis.
So I am a lifestyle and weight management specialist. So what I do is I motivate and inspire people, pretty much women in particular, to put health, wellness, and physical fitness first. And so that is what I do. And the name of my business, of course, is Glamour Girl.
Glamour Girl.
Fitness. What else?
You have a special partner in this business that does a lot of work with you.
Yes, that actually I think the last time we were on the show, I was there with my daughter.
Yes.
Yes, so Glamour Girl Fitness has a Mommy and Me initiative that was inspired by her, and her name is Regina Madison. So she loves, of course, working out and hanging out with her mommy.
So tell me how Janae feels about her mama being in this pageant.
You know, it's interesting because that is where my motivation came from. That is where my inspiration came from, because I am raising up a little girl. Yes. And I wanted her to be able to look at her mom as a role model. So now she's all excited because she thinks she's my coach, of course.
I can see that.
Walk this way. Yes, exactly.
I can see that.
So she's very excited for me. And so this is something that I am planting a seed for her, to not be afraid to put yourself out there, but to just go ahead and walk in your purpose.
I love that. You know, as you talk about, you being a mother with a daughter, there are so many of our girls that have a challenge with their self-image.
Right.
Not just our girls, but our women as well. How important is it to you to model this self-love in front of Janae so that she sees that it is important that you love who you are?
Right. And it is very important, because I'm going to go back to what I said again about that outward appearance. People focus on, and that's what, because when I got into this, and like I said, you think about pageantry, and I was talking to the ladies about fear. setting in and knowing that I'm just not your typical pageant girl.
Yeah.
But pageantry, I've found, because I've had some amazing people to minister into my life about what it's all about. But truly, it is about being confident in yourself, in that beauty, that inner beauty.
Yes.
And I don't know about the other contestants. All I know about is Jackie Madison. And what I want them to see when I walk across that stage is my inner beauty.
Yes.
That's what I'm showing to my daughter. It's not about the outside, but it's about the inside. And that's what I want people to be able to see when they meet us. That is what Glamour Girl Fitness is all about. Beauty from the inside out.
I love it. And I see it. Janae is so confident. When she was on this is the stage when we did Awesome Girl. When she was on this stage, she was posing.
Right.
The other girls were just standing there holding their bags, and your baby was like, I'm here. Do you see me? And I love that, because if you can handle the self-worth issues when they're younger, then that changes the whole trajectory of their life and the decisions that they make and the people they choose to spend time around.
Exactly.
Because if they love themselves, then they begin to make better choices in terms of the decisions they make for their lives.
Yeah, she's full of personality, like you said, and that was one of my things, is letting her see, to let it shine all the time. Be confident, don't be afraid. And so that is how she became one of the awesome girls.
I love it. I love it. So, in terms of the pageant,
Yes.
I mean, what are some of the, events or categories that you'll have to participate in?
So we have one of the main categories is, of course, your interview with the judges.
Okay.
And I was having a conversation with the ladies over there, is that the interview with the judges, it'll probably be a panel of 5 to 6 judges, where they're going to talk to you, get to know you.
Yes.
And this is where I get to let them see me within about 10 minutes, I think you have with them, your inner beauty,
Yes.
from the inside out. And then after, that'll be the day before. And then the day of the pageant is when you're on stage. You pretty much just announce yourself. They have a fitness portion of the competition. Yes, of course, where you will model in a bikini or a bathing suit, and you have to be confident to be able to do that. And so that's what they call the fitness portion of it. And then there's also the evening gown competition, where you have to be able to show your grace and your elegance walking across the stage, and then you have the on-stage interview question.
I'm so excited about this because, we get to certain stages in our lives and we think, well, there's certain things that at this stage in my life, right, that I just won't be doing. And then God calls you out, which is what he does, and he pulls you into something that you just never would have dreamed. But now as you're in that space, are you beginning to see the divine hand of God moving?
So much so. Because like I said before, even though I have the name Glamour Girl Fitness, pageantry was never on my radar at all. But I know that this is an alignment with him, because this is the reason why I'm doing it. And like you said, it's just, you wouldn't imagine it. And so I'm walking in it. I'm walking in my purpose, and I'm walking it out. And I feel good about it. I feel really good about it.
So how can our audience support you? Anything we can do to help out?
Yes, well, so the pageant is open to the public, so you are welcome to come. The tickets are $35. Again, it's June 10th. It is Roswell Cultural Arts Center, so everyone is welcome to come out and support and root for Jackie Madison. But pray for Jackie Madison if you don't show up. God's willing that this will be the next level for us to be able to promote my message. Like I said, not just on a local level, but on a national level, because I want to be able to change lives, And I know that the platform that God is putting me on is allowing me to be able to do that. And through this platform, that's what I want and hope to achieve through this platform. So you can follow me, of course, on Facebook. I'm under Jackie Madison, Instagram, Get Fit Glamour Girl Style, and then Glamour Girl Style Fitness.
I can definitely see it, because so often when God is elevating us, he's not elevating us for us. It's because of the mission and the purpose he's put in our lives. So he puts you in a space where Jackie is elevated so that Jackie can speak words of life and do what you said, change people's lives.
Right.
So what's next? What else you got going on? You got the pageant. One thing I know about you, you are a driven woman.
I am. So right now I'm just, okay, Regina, it's funny because all these ladies here that you have on the panel this evening have a book.
Ah.
I never thought about a book.
Ah.
until now.
Look at that. So you've been inspired.
I've been inspired to, I started journaling, I never journaled before, about this journey, because it's a big step. It's a big journey. There's a lot of work in terms of your mind, your spirit. This is a journey that I am so happy that God put me on, because he's doing something. It's not about me. He's doing something.
So when you come back and you have the crown, we'll begin to discuss the book. Is that what's next?
Yes.
So your accountability partners are in the room, because they heard you say it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to hearing about the Glamour Girl Fitness book. That's going to be something awesome. Mm-hmm. So again, remind our audience where they can reach you, the date of the pageant, and how they can get tickets if they want to come out. Even though I know it's not Apollo style, we can always scream at the audience like it's Apollo style, right?
Okay,
that's what I was thinking.
So I'm having the little signs made that'll have my face on the fans. I think you've seen that. I believe that's
I like that.
But again, the pageant is June 10th. It is at Roswell Cultural Arts Center. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. And again, you can follow me on Facebook under Jackie Madison, Get Fit Glamour Girl Style, and IG is Glamour Girl Style Fitness.
I did have one more question.
Yes.
There's a woman watching, and she feels in her spirit there's something she's supposed to do that she just thinks for sure this can't be God. What's your word of encouragement to her to get her out of that space and to move?
When you say this can't be God, then if you just said that, then it is God. If you're feeling that way and you know it's not something that you would do on your own, that's how you know it's God. Because this is not something I would do on my own. That's how I know it's God.
Awesome. Well, we'll end right there. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I don't know who's up next, but I think she's from Anderson, South Carolina. You're live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. All right, you guys, you are back live on the air with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show on, yes, the Regina Sunshine Global Network. And I'm so excited to have all the way from Anderson, South Carolina, Miss Clintoria Session. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Well, how did we meet? Today is the first time we ever met.
Yes.
We've talked on the phone how many times?
Oh, countless times.
Countless times. So it's like meeting a sister in real life today.
Text message.
So I'm so glad to have you here. I'm going to read a little bit about who you are and what you do, okay? Because they call you what? What's your new name? Because you are Clintoria, but now you are
Coach Tori.
Coach Tori. Coach Tori has a passion for people and strives on seeing others excel in life. She is a human resources professional working in corporate America for over 18 years. She don't like she that old. In the automotive manufacturing industry, and knows firsthand how misfortunes in life can cause you to feel inadequate and how important it is to have someone there to listen, guide, and motivate you to accomplish what you think is impossible. I like that. In working with people from diverse demographics, she believes that there is one commonality regardless of your culture, and that is we all want to do our very best to succeed in life. She has a master's degree in human resources development and is a certified life coach. Coach Tori has been successful in working with others on customizing strategies that have enabled them to excel in life and is ready to partner with you as well. Wow.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about this, because it's very few life coaches or empowerment coaches that I meet that have the kind of human resources background that you have. And that gives you a whole other arsenal of tools to pull out. So why human resources? How did you get into that area?
I got into human resources because I have a passion for people. A passion to see people excel. And even in corporate America, there's so many pressures and so many demands and pulls that are on people, and we all have lives outside of our profession.
Yes.
And we come together from 8 to 5 every day, and we come together with life's issues. And so part of my responsibility as an HR profession is to keep you focused on the task at hand, but at the same time be that listening ear for you when you need it to help you stay focused on your job. And a lot of what I do is just being there, because a lot of people that come into my office, they have issues, and it's not work related. And a lot of it is not you having to do anything, but you having that passion and compassion. And that's all they're looking for, is to know that somebody cares.
Wow. So you actually have a career that ties into your purpose.
I do.
So you get to go every day and do what you love to do and help people. What does that feel like to be able to operate in your gift every day?
It's a wonderful feeling. It's very fulfilling because I know that I'm making a difference. I'm having an impact, and I'm living my life on purpose. And I'm walking into everything that God has created me to walk into, using my life experiences, my pitfalls, to pour back into others, being transparent, letting them know, hey, I've done X, Y, and Z, and if I made it, you can make it. Absolutely. And it's just restoring that hope, because we have so many hopeless people walking around. But it's just speaking life into people and letting them know, hey, life happens to all of us. We all get off course. We've all fallen down, but it doesn't matter about your falling, but it matters about you getting back up again.
Yes, I love it.
I was excited, but I wasn't excited because I felt like the story wasn't complete.
Yes.
And so I didn't, I had one book release, and then I just left it on the shelf because I really didn't push it and promote it because I felt on the inside the work wasn't done.
Yes.
So that's when you put me in contact with Miss Lanita.
Yes.
And oh my goodness, she is such a inspiration. And so I partnered with her team, and I have my sample here.
Hold it up so that everybody can see. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Now, first of all, when Clintoria relaunched the book, she didn't want her face on the cover. I said, now you're going to put your face on it. Anybody know Lanita Mitchell Blackwell, your face is going on the cover of your book. And there's a reason, because people are drawn to images, to pictures and things of that nature. And you fought it. They tell us you fought it.
I did because I've always been one of those behind the scene, introverted, not wanted to be, in the spotlight type of people. And you were like, no, you need to be on the cover. You need to be on the cover. So, but you need to be on the cover. So, yes, I'm on the cover.
I know Lanita really well. I knew there was no way that book was coming out and your beautiful face was not going to be on the cover.
And so I'm so excited because the story is complete.
Yes. You did it your way.
I did it my way. Absolutely. I did it my way. And I'm so excited about it. This is the sample, but it will be available on Amazon. And it's just me being transparent. Telling a story through character.
Yes.
And
tell me the name of the book.
It's A Withered Rose Can Bloom Again, Overcoming Life's Pitfalls Through Faith. And it's just journeying through my life, the things that I've overcome. One of the biggest things that I've had to overcome in my life is being molested at the age of 8 by a female. And that really rocked my world, because not understanding, as a kid, not understanding the why, and finding a way to make it my fault, and then feeling like I had to cover my perpetrator because I never told, because I was trying to protect her, and then at the same time trying to protect my mom, because my mom was a single parent, and although she was a Sunday school teacher, Christian woman, I knew that if I told her, she would just lose it. And so my mom was all I had, so I couldn't lose my mom. So, I harbored that, and I carried it all through life, and it just, it ate away at me. It ate away at my soul, basically. And I created self-doubt, a horrible self-image, self-worth, anxiety, depression, you name it, I had it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So whenever you began writing, did you know that you were going to release this as a book? Was it something personal that turned into a book, or was it written specifically for the audience?
It was written for the audience. At first, I didn't want to share my story because I was afraid of the judgment that came along with it, with some of the stuff that I disclosed in the book. Because we, as people, we're not as forgiving as we should be. And we always want to finger point and point out somebody else's shortcomings. And so, and then I have kids, and I was concerned about, what they would think and their friends and that type thing. But then God just pressed it upon my heart that He allowed me to survive so that I can minister to somebody else that's going through similar situations and let them know if I overcame it, you can overcome it.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what happens to you in life. It matters how you finish the race.
Yes.
And you've got to finish the race.
Absolutely.
Because there are other people that God has assigned and destined to your life. And they depend on you to finish the race.
Absolutely. Well, you know, the topic of molestation is something that is just not talked about.
No.
Even though it's a conversation that needs to be had. Has this book opened the door for you to have those conversations with people?
It has, and I was so surprised with my first release. So many women came to me and said, "Oh my God, you told my story." Mm-hmm. And these were people that I've known, you know, over half my life, and even in my own family. I had someone in my own family to come up and she said, "Oh my God, now I understand why you are like you are. I understand." And she began to tell me things that she had experienced, and it just blew me away because we are so closed off and we don't share and we're not transparent enough so that people will know that they can overcome. And just hearing other women in the pain, and I had one person actually just start crying because she never told anybody either, and she felt like she would be judged if she's told. And so, you know, I thank God that she saw something in me and through my story that released her. So,
thank God that you were transparent and you
Yes.
shared that, because that conversation, you know, she went from not having anybody in the world that she could tell to having someone she could confide in. And we all know, especially when you're going through something, to have somebody that you can tell can be that life-changing, that I'm going to hold on to this rope a little while longer because I got somebody in this space with me.
right.
Awesome.
Right.
Certified life coach.
Yes.
Tell us about your coaching business.
Oh, I'm so excited about my coaching business. I just recently launched my website, CoachToriEmpowers.com.
It's beautiful too. Oh, it's such a beautiful site.
I'm really excited, and I have an event next Saturday that hopefully you're still coming to, where I will officially launch my business, and it's Coach Tori Empowers, and where I'll offer career coaching, empowerment coaching, and recovery coaching.
Yes.
And I'm just very excited.
So it's like you go to work and you get to do something you love. Now you have launched this coaching business, so you're operating in a space where your whole life now is on purpose.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I'm super excited. I'm so grateful that God took this little messed up girl and he saw something in her that he could use. And my whole conversation with God is, God, if my life just impacts one person, it's all worth it. The pain, the molestation, the depression, the anxiety, the foreclosure, the bankruptcy, the marital issues, the kid that had a learning disability. God, it's all worth it if I can just impact one person.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that.
Yeah.
So if someone is listening, there are women right now that are sitting in a space where maybe they've experienced some of the very things you've named. They've been molested. They've lost a job. You know, their house is in foreclosure. Their marriage is in trouble. What's your word of what's the first step? What would you tell them? What's the first step to begin to regain themselves again?
Breathe. And embrace what you're going through, but don't stay there. Because where we make our mistakes is that we stay there in a temporary state. What should be a temporary state, we want to make it a permanent home. And instead of building your home there, God intended for you only to pitch your tent there because it's only temporary. What you're going through is only temporary, and it's for a moment. And there is a lesson to be learned through your pitfalls. And learn it, pick up the pieces, and move forward. Because we've all been there, whether people want to admit it or not. We all go through things in life. It may not be the same thing, but we all go through things in life, and don't be ashamed. Because God is going to use your test for a testimony so that you can reach somebody else. Because what you're going through right now is not about you. It's about your future self reaching that other person that will be going through the same thing that you're going through so that you can speak life.
I love it. Tell them how they can get your book.
My book next week will be available on Amazon.com. You can also get it on my website, www.CoachToriEmpowers.com. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under Clintoria Session or Coach Tori Empowers.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have our last guest of the day. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. You're live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show on what? The Regina Sunshine Global Network.
Awesome.
I am so excited to have our final guest of this empowerment conference session today, Ms. Ebony Ormond Hale. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
So tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So I am becoming known as 3 Times a Lady. That is my empowerment network. Aside from that, I'm also a business strategist and serial entrepreneur. I am the owner of I Listen Empowerment Center, which is a community mental health center. And I am just also the owner of a Sneakerhead Youth Empowerment Center, which is a sneaker design academy for at-risk and special needs youth. And so I am just on a mission to empower and impact just men, women, boy, girl, whomever the Lord sends in my direction.
Well, you used the right terminology. I think you said, did you say serial entrepreneur?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. A serial entrepreneur. So how did you get into a space where you began to use your gifts to empower others?
Absolutely. So, oftentimes we start our journey not really knowing the assignment that God really has on our lives. And I honestly believe that the things that we go through, from our youthful years into our adulthood, I believe that God is preparing us, and He has a strategic plan and strategy in place where He's kind of catapulting us in different directions. And so pretty much my life and my story and the different things that I've gone through, and my husband and I have been married. It'll be 14 years in June. And in 14 years of marriage, we experienced 12 miscarriages with 14 losses. Our first pregnancy and the last was a set of twins, both a set of twins. And in 2011, God gave me what I call my promise reminder. He gave us a son who is just an amazing young man. And it was almost as if God gave me the promise in 2011, and then 5 years later, we miscarried again with a set of identical twin girls. And I kept, asking God, why would you give me the promise and then allow the pain to happen again? And He said, this pain isn't for you. This pain is to birth other women. God gave me the vision, and it was amazing. I launched my first book this past weekend as well. It has indeed been an amazing journey.
I got like 10,000 questions I want to ask, but I'm going to go back to, you launched your first book.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the book.
Absolutely. The book is entitled 3 Times a Lady, The Woman, Her Business, Her God. And so I go all the way back into my childhood, and I talk about, I kind of exposed the situation that I never talked about. And I was standing over there as the prior guest, as she was speaking, and she was talking about molestation. And I said, wow, God, so this is in the atmosphere again today? Okay. And so I exposed the situation where I had been molested as a child, and none of my family knew. And so I had a book released this weekend, and the Lord told me to turn it into like a monologue type situation with live music. So it was really the beginning of my healing. And, imagine your grandmother, both grandmothers, your mother being present, cousins in the room, and not knowing this. But I had to be strong. I had to stand up within myself and tell my testimony, and it was amazing. And the devastation that I thought the enemy would try to bring afterwards, God didn't even allow that. It turned into a healing session for my family, because I learned that my mom, had been molested as well and hadn't really spoken of it. So it's just some things that were generational curses, and every generational curse that presents itself, I tell people all the time, I'm going to be the sacrifice and I'm cutting it off. It stops with me.
Yes. Wow, I can't even imagine being in that space and nobody knowing. So even before you stepped, I guess, to the mic, no one had been prepared. You just shared your heart.
Yep. The only person that I had ever told was my husband.
After that moment, whenever you were able to release that, because it's one thing to tell somebody, but to be able to tell a group of people, how did you feel after that moment?
To say the least, my emotions were everywhere. Imagine me sitting there trying to read from this book, and for the last few weeks, I've been trying to prepare my mind, just like, oh God, this could go so wrong. Because the individual, is still living, and it's a family member. And in my book, I kind of depict the story a little bit and tell how until the last miscarriage, I never hated the individual, and I could never understand it. I don't think I've ever really just resented them. And this last miscarriage, my doctor, Dr. Jacqueline from Merit to Medicine, she asked me, she said, had you ever experienced trauma? And so the miscarriages are a direct result of my cervix being funneled, which was a result of the molestation as a child. And so I think that at that moment, learning that is when I became angry. And even that anger has subsided. And I've just, once I released it to my family, it was just, I felt like God was taking me to the next dimension in Him. And I was just, I don't know, I've been at peace.
That's
I really
beautiful.
have.
Because that initial step, being able to be in that space and have that conversation with your family, now just opens the door for the other conversations. Because
Absolutely.
you'll be in rooms just like this, and there'll be women who need to hear that because they've never told anyone. Like I told Clintori, they've never told anyone. And because you have the courage, it's going to give them courage
Absolutely.
to do the same thing. And you're going to help to break that off of their lives so they can be free for the first time ever in their lives.
Awesome.
Wow. I'm so excited
Thank you so
for
much.
you. You talked about this conference with Cindy Trim, Dr. Cindy Trim.
Yeah.
There's going to be all kinds of pregnant people coming out of there.
I know.
And there's going to be some pregnant folk
But
coming up out of there.
The beauty in it, that was one of the things that I was praying for. We do a lot of conferences and things like that. We see them all the time, but for what reason, And so I began praying months and months prior. I have a few friends that are, that are married, that are believing God for a baby that, they've been having trouble conceiving, just like myself. I have a cousin who, her and her husband, for years, and then God gave them a little boy on last year. And but the ending of the conference was Saturday. Sunday morning, a young lady texted me and told me that on Mother's Day, she and her husband found out they were expecting the day after the conference. So I'm believing God for miracles to continue, for testimonies to continue, and not for my glory and, no form of fashion or no glory of mine, but just for God to get the glory, not just in my life, but in their lives too, and for people to know God on that level, for themselves.
What's next? What's up
Jesus
next?
Christ, I have no idea. I'm tired right now. I'm very passionate about young people. So the Sneakerhead Youth Empowerment Center that my husband and I launched for my son, who's 7 years old, is going to be what I'm believing is probably the biggest testament of my work. And that's because we are, empowering youth is just what I want to do. It's one thing to leave a legacy, but when you leave a legacy that does not impact the next generation, you really haven't left a legacy. Absolutely. And so I am just after 1,000 youth. That's what I see. I see 1,000 young people. I see ministry. for them an entire youth ministry where the youth do it all, where they are the ministers, they're where they're the trustees or the finance department, they're the musicians. I want to bring in certified and licensed individuals to train them and coach them and then teach them this sneaker design and fashion industry so that they can know that they don't have to be on that side of the spectrum. You don't just have to wear the $200 Jordans. You can be the one to design them and change the direction of your family's life. So
I love it. Multiple streams of income.
Absolutely.
So tell our audience how they can reach you, where they can get that book as well.
Absolutely. So the book is currently, as of tomorrow, it'll be on Amazon.com. It's currently on Lulu.com, and that's Lulu. And then you can also get it on my website at Ebony-O, and that's Ebony, EBONYOH.com. And so that's where you can get the book. As far as social media, Ebony Ormond -Ham on Facebook. You can find me at 3 Times a Lady Inc. on Facebook and at 3 Times a Lady Inc. on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for being here on my first show. I'm so excited. Can you hang out?
Absolutely.
Because what I think I'm going to do, because this is not exactly what I planned, I want can we get all the guests back? Sure. We might need a chair on the end. So we're not even going to break. We're just going to invite all the guests to come on back to the stage. Come on back to the stage. Somebody can sit beside me. You slide over here, Ebony. You got 2 ladies over there. This was, like I said, this was not a part of my plan. But yes. What? Huh? Keep streaming. Keep streaming. I don't even care. This has been so good. I've been so blessed by y'all and y'all's testimonies and everything. And I know our mics are picking up pretty good where we are, right? Our mics picking up pretty good.
Yeah, awesome. We're pretty good.
Awesome. Yes.
Do I need
You want her to move over? Bring a chair inside. Is that better?
Yeah, we're good to go on this end.
Does it look good? Yeah. Does it look good?
Would you scoot just a little more? You want me to sit right here?
Yeah, somebody take out their phone and start taking some pictures. Well, you guys, we are closing out. We're good? Don't worry about it. We're closing out the very first Regina Sunshine Show on Regina Sunshine Global Network. You guys give each other a hand. Y'all are amazing. I've been so blessed today. I've held the tears. I did really good because I didn't want my lashes to be off in the middle of the first show. But I'm so honored that you guys would be in this space with me. When I say I've been inspired, every one of you has shared something today that's got me stirring inside. I want to run around the building at one point, but I know I'm supposed to stay on set. But I thank y'all for being here. I just wanted the audience again to see your beautiful faces and to be reminded that this is what it looks like when women step out in faith, to do those things that they know God has purpose in their heart to do. And so for those of you that are watching, whatever that thing is, whatever that dream is that you've been holding on to, and for some reason you haven't moved, it's time to move. It's time to get out of that space you've been stuck in and do some amazing things. Because as you've heard these women say, it makes all the difference in your life when you step out in purpose to do the things you've been created to do. A big shout out to Royce and Devette and Ashante, Gabe, and King for being in the building and helping us launch this. Big shout out to Terry Cersei, the owner of Studio T, for giving me this amazing opportunity. And to my audience, I leave you with the words I always leave you with. Remember this, I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning. We're out. The fight to get here?
Yes.
Labor pain.
Yes. This is Regina Sunshine Global Network. If you want a show here, you can reach out to me at ReginaSunshineRobinson@gmail.com. So you guys be on the lookout for the very future Regina Sunshine Global Network channel. God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant. gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life.